Four questions hovering over deal to create a giant defense contractor. Video by Reuters. Thomas A. Kennedy, Raytheon's chief executive, sounded like he was selling his company's proposed merger with United Technologies not just as good for shareholders but as a patriotic endeavor. This is overall a great play for the United States of America, making us a better country, a much stronger country, and a country that's built on noble jobs, Mr. Kennedy said on CNBC on Monday. It's a win-win for all. The grandiose sales pitch should not come as a surprise. The deal coincides with pointed questions from many lawmakers and regulators about the economic benefits and costs of large mergers. President Trump, the combined company, to be called Raytheon Technologies, would be a defense and aerospace colossus with annual sales of nearly $75 billion, more than either Lockheed Martin or Airbus posted last year. It would combine Here are some big questions and issues the companies must contend with as they seek the approval of government officials and shareholders. How would the merger benefit the company's customers? Raytheon and United Technologies said the merger would help them slash costs and pass $500 million in savings on to buyers of their products, chiefly the Defense Department. The companies said the combined firm might be able to save more than $350 million a year just by reducing what they spent on parts and raw materials. But Gregory Sanders, that is one of the areas where you worry about innovation, he said. The company's executives contend that the combined entity would have the scale and financial resources to increase spending on research and development. But it is not clear that Raytheon Technologies would invest more money in research than the combined total of the two individual companies, something Mr. Kennedy appeared to acknowledge in a call with analysts on Monday. It depends on what the programs are that we invest in, he said in response to a question about spending levels. How will shareholders fare? Executives said the combined company would return as much as $20 billion to shareholders through dividends and stock buybacks in the 3 years after the merger is completed. Investor reaction to the deal has been muted so far, though. Stock in Before the announcement, United Technologies was splitting itself into 3 companies: an aerospace division, which would merge with Raytheon. Otis, why are the companies merging now? Raytheon and United Technologies may be positioning themselves for a slowdown or reversal in a current and commercial airlines. 3 times in there, some economists believe that a big increase in mergers and acquisitions can suggest that an expansion may be ending. So far this year, companies have announced mergers and acquisitions totaling $1 trillion, up 14% from the same period last year, according to data from Deloitte. What consolidation does, which is what Amanda is all about, is remove a source of competition, and it is a wonderful way of improving your pricing power position, said David Rosenberg, chief economist at Gluskin Sheff, an investment firm based in Toronto. Is Mr. Trump right to be concerned about the deal? The companies contend that because they are not currently in the same businesses, the merger will not increase the combined firm's market position in, say, jet engines or missiles. Just 1%. There is nothing anti-competitive about bringing these companies together, he said. But antitrust experts say Mr. Trump is right to be worried. Deals involving businesses that are closely related to each other can strengthen the combined company's market power. Raytheon and they could use the enhanced footprint and enhanced market power to potentially make it harder for their rivals to compete, said Diana L. Moss, president of the American Antitrust Institute, a Washington group that advocates stronger antitrust enforcement. I would imagine that United Technologies and Raytheon will most likely need to convince the Pentagon that a merger will not reduce incentives to provide the most advanced and inexpensive technologies. The Defense Department, the government's foremost concern is that there is sufficient innovation in the defense sector to design and produce new weapons systems, said William Kavacic, a professor at George Washington University Law School and a former chairman of the Federal Trade Commission. Any shrinking in the number of these enterprises ought to be a matter of concern for the defense agencies and for government antitrust agencies, he said.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.